focusing on the negative. I was focusing on the things that were hurting me, that were making my mind um go in a frizz. It was making my mind do that. And I have to realize, no, enough of that, Jaheim. Enough of that. Focus on the good parts, and then see what you need to improve to become, and to improve to fix that area of your life so that it can no longer be a distraction to you. And can I tell you this? You need, sometimes some of us, we're so focused on the negative. We're focused on the bad things that happen to us. We're doing this, we're doing that. We're focusing on what we don't have, focusing on who we don't have. We're focusing on what we don't have. We're focusing on the season of our life, and we know that we're meant for better, we're meant for greater, we're meant for this, we're meant for that. But we cannot get into a better place if we don't know no longer we can't get into a better place if we keep focusing on the bad. Well, what's up, family? It's your boy Jaheim, president, with another episode of Legacy Builders Podcast. We are back, and I believe we're get each level we get bigger and better, we get stronger and better, we get wiser and better, we get more focused and laser focused. And so we only can get there with your share. So please like and share and like and share, subscribe to us at Jaheim President TV, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere you can find a podcast, you'll find Legacy Builders Podcast. We're back with another episode, and last week's episode was so powerful. We talked about securing your own mass, and the ideas and the audacity to win, and to kind of be selfish with ourselves, selfish with our goals. But today I want to talk about focus. I need you to focus up. I really do need you to focus up, because I believe that there is so much distractions that are being sent our way, because we're at this paradigm shift of life. We're at this paradigm shift of turning our dreams into reality, and sometimes when you're close to it, you lose focus because of the exhaustion of progress. And I talked about it the other day, about how progress and opposition and resistance are very necessary steps for life, and very necessary steps for becoming, and to become everything that you need to be. But what we need to, and what we never can lose sight of this year, is we can never lose sight of focus. I think so many times, and with TikTok being banned, with we got a new president, and all those, you're being constantly bombarded with media circus about what he's doing, what he's not doing, whatever side you support. And when I was driving home today, and when I was driving home this week, I kind of felt myself slipping out of focus. And I kept, and I realized that how dangerous and how easy it is to lose out of focus. And what is focus? Focus is beelining to something, and having your gaze and your eye set, and your mindset focus on it. I think many times in life, it is so easy to lose focus. It really is. It is so easy to be distracted, even in the first month of the year. I mean, how many of you have, you didn't listen to my podcast before, and so you're doing your New Year's resolution. And with your New Year's resolution, it comes with not the same pressure, not the same weight, not the same this and that, because you lost focus. And as we enter this last week of the month, I was kind of driving, and I was saying, I gotta tell them, don't lose their focus. Don't be distracted with people and things. I kid you not. There have been, this week alone, there have been distraction with people, with my job, with things. And I felt the weariness of life. And here it is. One of the side effects of losing focus is When you start pinpointing and looking at things and looking at other things that are not aligned to your destiny and to your purpose, you start to feel unnecessary weight and you start to feel unnecessary things and you begin to do things out of character. Like and then here it is. Here's the cycle that you create is because now that you created a cycle, now you get mad at yourself for losing focus. And you cannot get mad at yourself for losing focus because losing focus is a humanistic thing that we all go through, that we all have to not suffer, but we all have to manage the ideas of distractions. We have to manage the idea of of losing the will, losing the side of things. And so this today and really this week, as we close out this week, and this month as we're going to February, I want you to, and I say this all the time, put things in proper perspective, but I want you to once again align yourself with an idea, align yourself with a focus. And sometimes the problem may be you may have too many, you may be trying to focus on too many things, and that's why you easily distracted, because you'll start thinking about this, you start thinking about that, you start thinking about this. Listen, and that was my problem. Like, I'm trying to build this podcast, I'm trying to build a life, I'm trying to get this and get that. And so what I had to do, I had to stop myself this week. I had to stop myself, and I had to once again reimagine and once again redefine what I really want to do and what I really need to do. And putting those things in a list was very helpful, because now I can see, and I really didn't know I was this visual, but I had to put this thing into a visual thing, because there is an emergence of you that is waiting to become. And here it is. Most people will trap you in a old version of you. See, people will send distractions to you out of two ways, because they're scared of what you're going to become, or they secondly, they're trying to hold you back because they're comfortable with who you are now. And when I was thinking about that, I had to look at the things, the people, the places that were keeping me in where I was not to become. I had to look at the idea of focusing up. I had to look on the idea of locking in, if you will. I had to look at the idea of securing what was to come through my process of becoming. And so what I realized this week, and what I realized about this idea of focusing, because look, if you look at the world today, for real, like, so far I've been bombarded with, I don't even watch the news like that. I really don't. But I've been bombarded with Instagram. Like, every time I look on Instagram it's something, every time I look on TikTok it's something. Even TikTok being banned itself, it was just like so much. And so your mind can only take so much. And so that's why, and I was looking at these people I follow on Threads, and and one of them was like, the compliment they got was that they just pour out peace. That's what a compliment somebody told them, and I was like, I wanted that, and so I started looking, what is not bringing me peace. Here it is. Because when you're focused, you have peace comes hand to hand. I'm not saying when you're focused, everything will be easy. I didn't say that. But I said when you're focused in life, there's a peace that will come over you. There'll be a peace that'll start to involve your mind. It'll start to go around in your mind, because you realize that when you focus on the things you want to and the things you have to do and the things that are going to better you, then it'll bring you peace, because you know that the heartaches of your today won't be the heartaches of your tomorrow. And so I had to realize what am I what is distracting me, what is taking away from my peace. And you have to realize that, what is taking away from your peace? Is it your job? Is it family members? Is it this? Is it that? You have to pinpoint things that no longer serve you, and you have to pinpoint things that no longer are necessary. You have to pinpoint things that are like a tapping on you, that are tapping you. What is tapping on your heart? What is tapping on your mind? What is tapping on your soul that always leads to a distraction and into a repeat? And so today and really this week, I want you to really slow down, and I really want you to prioritize and to organize where you're meant to be and where you're going. And I want you to prioritize you. Here it is. Once again, with securing your mask, I think many of us are pouring into so many things that we are. That's why many of us are distracted. But then I really want you to focus up and to focus on everything that you're meant to be. And sometimes focus is meaning telling yourself self-love. Sometimes focus is focusing on the people that are bringing you happiness, focusing on the places that are bringing you happiness. Listen, I realize, and I can say this, I'm on my buck. I'm not happy at the place I work at right now. Not happy. But then when I started to focus so much on that, I realized that I started to get a negative connotation about my profession, which is not the truth. I love teaching, but I may be not at the place I want to be at now. But I cannot say I never wanted to be a teacher. And be truthful, y'all, I was saying that. I was saying that because I was focusing on the negative. I was focusing on the things that were hurting me, that were making my mind um go in a physical, was making my mind do that. And I have to realize, no, enough of that, Jaheim. Enough of that. Focus on the good parts, and then see what you need to improve to become, and to improve to fix that area of your life so that it can no longer be a distraction to you. And can I tell you this? You need, sometimes some of us, we're so focused on the negative. We're focused on the bad things that happen to us. We're doing this, we're doing that. We're focusing on what we don't have, focusing on who we don't have. We're focusing on what we don't have. We're focusing on the season of our life, and we know that we're meant for better, we're meant for greater, we're meant for this, we're meant for that. But we cannot get into a better place if we don't know no longer, we can't get into a better place if we keep focusing on the bad things. You can't get into one of the greatest seasons of your life if you always so negative. And you always, and I talked about this earlier. I talked about this last year and last season. I talked about the idea of, are you the toxic one? And that was so true. Are you the toxic one? And toxic could be, are you the toxic one, and are you the toxic one of your own life? Some of us, we're blaming everybody. We're blaming everything. We're blaming our mom, we're blaming our daddy, we're blaming our family. Not saying that they didn't have a part of it. They may have a part of it, but sometimes the biggest enemy to your next level, and to even to your now, is you. And I can admit, I'm my biggest enemy. I'm my biggest enemy because of the time I let things and people play in my head, and stay in my head, when I'm stopping my own self from growth. And could that be you? You're stopping your own self from growth. You're stopping your own self from becoming, because you're letting this hard season, or even you're letting the season that may not look so great, that may not look so wise, that may not look so this or that. You're letting that stop you from one of the greatest seasons of your life. And so, okay, you're asking me, Jaheim, what do you do now? How do you get your focus back? You get your focus back by loving yourself again, by loving yourself again, by trying again, by healing again. I think one of the most powerful people in the world are people who are healed, people who are going through their healing journey. I have so much respect for them, because they have pinpoint the problems in their lives. They have pinpointed the areas in their life, and they have decided that they're more focused on becoming whole again. They're more focused on becoming complete again. They're more focused on becoming a new and a better upgraded version of themselves, that they realize that they put the necessary steps, that they do the necessary things, that they become and go to the necessary environments, and they pivot when life is telling them to pivot, and they become something greater. They become something, one of the greatest things in the world. They become a healed person. And when you become a healed person, that means your focus, your vision, it has been restored. So once you see it, because some of us, we leave with our eyes, some of us eat with our eyes. I know I eat with our eyes. And so the main reason that the people who are healed are so powerful is because they can look at themselves in the mirror and they can appreciate and love who they see. Oh, God, that's good. Some of us, the reason why we're so distracted is because when we wake up and we look at ourselves in the mirror, we're not happy with what we see. Some of us who try to be flashy, who try to be this, who try to be that, because we're trying to, and this is going to segue into next month. Next month I'm going to be having my first guest, one of my friends, and we're going to talk about what's love got to do with it. We're gonna be powerful, and it's going to talk about love in the month of love, in the month of legends, February 16th. But and this segue in the next week probably. But what I'm saying is the most people who are focused are the people who are happy with themselves. And here it is. And I had to realize that. I had to realize, Jaheem, you gotta get happy with yourself. You gotta be happy with sometimes walking in this door and being okay with if nobody calls you, being okay if nobody check up on you. Not saying that, I don't want that, but you have to be okay with that. And sometimes you have to be okay with hearing the own inner thoughts of your mind. Because some of us are having conversations with ourselves and it's not going right because we hate ourselves. And so what ourselves are telling us that we may need to do to become focused again, we're not going to listen because we don't like ourselves. So then we go and we're trying to find validation from somebody else and some other things. And for many times that's been in seasons of my life, that's been me, because I didn't like who I saw in the mirror, and so I started to chase what I thought was successful. And some of us, we may be tired because we're chasing what we think are successful people, because we have defined people and we have defined those things as successful. So if we don't get those, if we don't get that, I have to say that about this podcast. I said, I have to define what success is to me for legacy builders. So then I can't get distracted with other people are going off. Good for them. I can learn strategies for them, but I have to find what success is for me. I have to stay focused for what is for me. Many of us, we're chasing other people's dreams. We're chasing other people's ambitions. We're chasing other people's things because we're not focused and locked in enough on what we need to do. Because how easy, last week connected, how easy it is to chase your dream and to push your dream and to think that your dream is my dream, because I can't, then once again, if I look at your dream, then you have to value me as success. And then I don't have to listen to that inner voice. And I don't have to, even though I may not feel successful, even though I may not feel like it, because once again, I don't like who I see in the mirror. And so if you don't like who you see in the mirror, and if somebody say you look good, they can pry and they can prey off of your uncompleteness. They can prey off of your instability of that, because they know some people can see it. Some people can see it and they know, okay, if I keep them in that state, if I keep them in that place, then I may they can may stunt your growth. And if they stunt your growth, they can stump your becoming, and they can stump your emergence. Can I tell you this? Your emergence this year is going to be greater than what you've seen. It is. It's going to be greater than what you see because of the hard conversations, because of the laser focus. Not saying being a busybody and not resting. No, I'm not saying that. But you're laser focused and you looking every day in the mirror and you're liking what you see, and not saying being comfortable, but you liking what you see because you see improvement. Because no, I can't. I can say it. I can say, "Oh, you're losing away." I can say, "Oh, you're doing it." But if you don't internally believe it for yourself, then you're gonna have some problems. And so that's really what I wanted to encourage you this week is to focus up, to lock back in. There are going to be distractions that come. There are going to be distractions that vary themselves, that show itself in various forms, but you have to focus up and you have to become everything that you're meant to be. Yeah. Yeah. You may not like this. A lot of people may not, a lot of people may not share it because it was a hard conversation and a hard conversation I had to have for myself, but you have to focus up. Focus up. You that's looking at me, you that's listening to me, focus up. We got destiny, we got goals to accomplish. But focusing up comes with being able to look at yourself in the mirror and love yourself enough to focus. There it is. Love yourself enough to focus up. Yeah, that's good. Another good episode. I'm trying to keep these things to 20 minutes. All right. So family, I love you. I'm excited about next week. What's love got to do with it? It's going to be so powerful. Next week we're going to be talking about, I think I'm going to start it off, and then from there I'm going to have my friends on and we're going to have different hard conversations about love. But yeah. Yeah. I love your family. Like, share, like. It's your boy. It's your preacher. It's just Jaheim. Love y'all family. See y'all next week.